Alright, we got a Sharpie mark there. And I thought these were exactly 1x2, but they're not. This is 990 by 2. Alright. These were made so that you could set them in a vise there, and something exactly 1 inch would hold them exactly 2 inches up. But it's close enough, okay? Because we've got extra meat on everything else here, and we're measuring off the end here. And basically, we're going to bring that line down to that block there, and then we have this thing exactly center where we need to have it. Alright, and 16 and 15/16. Excellent. I need nads that fucking big. Well, I ain't gonna put it back down in there and show you how to put it back out because I'm lazy, okay? So I grabbed a hold of it and I go, why can't I just, and I did. So, I mean, I did have to put my knee up here, alright, so, but besides that. So anyway, I'm on my way over to the lathe with it. And yeah, I think I'm going to go get my my son to give me a hand getting it over to the floor there. Alright, we're going to go ahead and we're going to dial this in here. So we got this running true. And before we go weld this on there, all we're doing is we're putting it in here to confirm run out on this and this, so that we're happy with how this is sitting on here. Because, you know, the welding is kind of permanent, and I like to make sure that where we want it permanent is where it's at now. I mean, it's not easy to put it back in the press, but it's a lot easier than cutting on it and everything else. So let's go ahead and let's see, where's my indicator? Here it is. Okay. It's within 7,000, so let's get it cranked in. There's about 76 to 82. Alright, come back here to 82. Tighten this down a little bit. Not much, almost 80 there. 80. I mean, you know, for right now, within a couple thousandths, I'm happy with that. Okay, let's find out what we got on the flange here now. That's about 1,000th. Okay, now let's go ahead. It's a little smoother in here than it is out here on this outside edge here. And the same as before, it almost like goes up, down, but it's within one if it was 4-pointed, okay? Because we got 2 ups and 2 downs. About 1/1000th difference off of them. Alright, we're good to go for welding. That's going to be tomorrow's morning's job, is start getting that set up there. That's enough. Let's celebrate New Year's Eve tonight. Well, we rolled it over by hand and checked it. Let's just go ahead. Okay, now, you know, that we're only swinging this 450 RPMs, okay? When this thing is running in the machine, it's doing close to 2,000 RPMs, I believe. All right, so, you know, I'm real happy with it right now. A good preheat, post-heat. We're going to get it welded up. I'm going to do 3 passes on each side. It's going to be a nice fillet weld in here. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to hold the torch on it until we bring it up to, we'll stress free it, stress relieve it by bringing it back to the natural state. And we're just going to do that local on both sides. We're not affecting the whole area, so we're going to concentrate our normalizing only in the welded area. And then we still have beef on all of our dimensions here, so that if we have some kind of a pull or twist, we'll be able to indicate these areas right here and machine the shaft to coincide with this, even if we have to recut centers. And we'll reclaim centers if we have to. Alright, we got our weld positioner is sitting on the floor, and it doesn't rock and roll right here. It's kind of in this middle. This is going to be a comfortable spot. It's going to be a little tight for the camera, but this is where I'm going to be comfortable doing this weld position here. Now we know that both ends of our shaft that we're going to stand up. We're going to do this vertically because it's going to be uniform. We'll be able to weld one side and then flip it over, and we're going to weld the other side. And then after that, we'll go through a stress relieve on our welds itself. So for right now this weld positioner can go in 2 different directions. It's all fully functional down here. I can rotate it, I can speed it up, slow it down, I can flip it for the other direction. So it's pretty versatile as far as speeds and direction. Alright, we went ahead and we just brought our little magnet level here. We're halfway close there, and we went ahead and we cranked it, and we're level that way there. So we're good to go. And now we're going to go ahead and we're using our lines here, and actually the very first line is a 3-inch line here. So we're just basically going to go ahead and open this up so that we can set the shaft down inside there. And then we'll be able to bring the jaws in and hold it. Now we don't have to dial this in or anything, you know, it's not that critical. But we do want to make sure that, you know, we're actually 2 of these we're going to bring out a little bit farther than the other 2. So, I mean, we're lifting this thing up. I mean, we're only going to be lifting it 18 inches off the ground, but you know, that's it's quite a bit of weight to be lifting up. All right, let's get that in there, and then we're going to start talking about our welding. Okay. That's looking pretty good, but I'm gonna want to go in this direction. Just starting to set up our area, plan out how we want to That's going to be ultimate on the comfortable, and that's what we want. All right, we're pretty well set on the procedure that we're going to play with on this project here. And we find in here that 8620, 1 to 2 inches, about 250 to 350 is the preheat we're going to put on this. Now, we're going to keep, that's preheat and interpass temperature, so we're going to be taking our sticks, and we have a couple different temp sticks here, and we got 250 and 300. We didn't have a 350, so we're going to be kind of playing around with those. I think I got a 400, and we're going to grab that just so that if we are at 400, we can go ahead and back up. Here's the 400 here. All right, and then we can let it cool down a little bit before we continue welding. So we're going to go ahead, and we've got a rosebud, we've got our stand here, and we're going to be able to put this thing on auto rotate with our weight on our foot pedal. All right, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a minimum of 3 passes. We're going to see what it looks like, but I believe I'm going to do this in 3 passes each side. And after we get those passes on there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring the temperature up, because we need to go ahead and we need to stress relieve our welded area there. And in here, the 7018 calls out stress relieve at 1150. Needs for a lot of control until you get over 25% carbon when you're doing your welding. And that's what makes the 4130 the most preferable choice, because you don't have to do anything at all. You can just weld it on up and it's pretty well done. This has got a little bit more carbon in it than the 4130, and it needs a little bit of attention. So that's what we're giving it. We're planning out. We got the preheat, we're gonna have the post heat, and then we're gonna go ahead and bring it up to the temperature to relieve that stress, relieve that welded area. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna break the temperature down a little bit. And you're not supposed to take it off right away, but you can bring it on down slow. Then we're going to blanket the thing, and we're going to let it sit there, and it'll probably take the rest of today to cool on down, and it'll be completely relieved and ready to go back into the lathe there for the finished machining. So that's, we kind of put 2 and 2 together between our Lincoln book and the Jorgensen material book. This is, everybody should really have a stock list reference book. This one here I picked up back in the 80s, and I really love it. It's got every kind of material you want in here, and also the stock dimensions and sizes and weights per foot and all of that kind of stuff in there. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to start getting some heat on here and bring this on up to temperature. Now we're going to go ahead and we're trying to heat the shaft a little bit before the plate. Even though we have a pressed fit on there, we don't want it to slide on us. Alright, and we did measure this little bit up here so we can always tell from the plate up to that line there is 700,000, so we got an eye on that. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get a few other things ready here, and we're going to be getting some rod. And of course we'll slow that down when I get ready to actually put the weld feet on there. And we got our gloves. Our rod has been in the oven. And our oven is up at 300 degrees, and it has been for 12 hours or so. And the rod is nice and warm. we were getting above the 250 down below, and we weren't quite getting it up here, so I'm just trying to bring some more temperature up on the top here. All right, now here's the 250. You can see how that melts right there. This one doesn't melt, it's right on the top. So here's 300, there's 250. So we're right between 250 and 300 right now in that preheat. 300 is just starting to smoke a little bit. Some of that smoking there is the 250 that I painted on there. And then here's 400, definitely is not even affecting that. But we're almost up to temperature to go ahead and start laying our first beads in on this side. Okay, we definitely want to get comfortable in this. And our first round here is going to be gauging our speed. We're using 70/18 1/8 inch. And I got my dial on the old synchro lathe. My usual spot about 120 is pretty good. Nice and comfortable here. Pretty happy with that first pass in there. Okay, we're right between 300 and 400 on temperature, so that's looking good. We don't have to race. You know, there's not a lot of heat being lost here. In fact, actually our weld is generating some heat there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and start setting up some blocks here, because I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna weld this side here, and I'm gonna lay it down. Actually, for how long it's taking to actually here. Let's go ahead and flip it. And we're gonna go ahead and get it turned over on the other side here real quick. Okay, ready? This is how we're going to be doing this operation here, so we can keep it going even. I like to have weld on both sides there, and so we're going to loosen off 2 of these, and we're going to go ahead and take off those gloves, and we're going to put on some real gloves. I've been looking for those. All right. I get in the habit of putting them in there. All right. Now we lean over. We get it on here. Okay. We rotate this around. doing on temperature? 250 still good. 350 still, or 300 no, 400 not quite. We're right in there. Okay. All right, I'm a little bit higher in the seat. How's that going to feel? That's still going to be fine. All right. Let's go ahead. We got our rod in our little blanket here, but go ahead and keep it fresh. Rotate it. Basically takes 2 rods per pass around just to be comfortable. And all right, we're good to go again. Good one, Proof Foundry call. He's going to come pick up those castings, and so we didn't waste a lot of time on that. All right, we're still good. Alright, there's our second pass. And we're going to be putting our third pass right on the top, right in there. Two of them all, three beads on both sides. I think I'd like to put 3 more beads on there. 1, 2, 3, each side. All right, I'm getting ready to put the last bead on here, and get a couple fresh rods here. Okay, and we are still maintaining between 300 and 400 degrees. Preheat's been pretty good. Even having a little bit of time to go ahead and flip the part over, working out pretty good. And we haven't had any catastrophes. I did have, that's those marks right there are temperature stick marks there. But right right here, I was talking and turned for the phone, and I took my rod, just went like that across there, and put a pecker track right around there. So yeah, well, we'll massage that out of there just because I don't want to look at it. But it's a good thing it's not a finished part, and there's a lot more machine work to go on here. But no matter how hard you try, every once in a while you might end up having your pecker marks on your own project there. All right, here we go. Hey, Paul.
What do we got there?
A piece of drive shaft for a giant tree chipper.
Oh yeah.
And 8620, and I don't know what they made the other piece out of, and
What happened?
It broke, and they came to me for the fix.
No,
3 pieces. It broke in 3 pieces.
so that's new.
Everything. This is old. The shaft's new. Right now, what I gotta do is I'm gonna get some heat on here because I gotta stress relieve my welds now. So I gotta bring it up to 1150
Yeah.
and hold it there for a bit, and then blanket it and let it cool down.
Yeah. Let it cool down for how long?
It's about 200 to 300 degrees per hour or so. You know, so I'll just blanket it with my asbestos cloth.
But you have to let it. You have to do it.
Yeah. If it was 4 to 130, I wouldn't have to. Yeah. I flipped it back and forth.
What I need to say is that heat will go on the roof.
I may have to. I got temps that here, so you know, if I can get that up here, that's why I brought in that other sports set. If I got it underneath and I don't quite got it here,
Yeah.
I'll hit it on the top, and then I got my blankets and I'll blanket it up.
But it's necessary, huh?
Yeah. Okay, we're just starting to get about 1150 underneath here on the bottom. We're holding 1150. It's like right on the verge of melting down there. I'm gonna get the secondary torch, get up on the top here. Alright, in the book it tells you a certain amount for the weld, and then it tells you a certain amount for the 8620 and how far out past the weld you're going to go and all of that. Now it says air cool, but it also tells you about retarding the coolness, so at a rate of a couple of 100 degrees per whatever, for whatever thickness and everything else. So basically I'm coming in here and I'm blanketing this thing up as best as I can. It's going to retain the heat as long as I can, and it will, you know, just prolong the cooling, and so that there's no rapid changes in temperature, and that's the whole key thing. couple new blankets I was just turned on to. That's what I keep 56, 53 around for. I've had 10 pounds of it for 10 years.